picking cozy evenings, pumpkin pie, falling leaves, spiced cider, warm fires, happy harvest. Happy fall, everyone!
Good morning. Thank you for joining me this morning. I'm here in the kitchen and I'm just having a slow, easy day getting caught up on some things. I've missed you guys. I'm glad that you're here. If you're new here, welcome. And if you've been around for a while, I'm always glad to see you come back. Well, I'm in here this morning. It's a chilly fall day. I've got a few little tasks to do. I'm going to first make a cup of tea. We'll go over here to the tea cabinet and get out our teapot and pick a delicious tea to have for this morning. I've got a few things I've got to catch up on around here at the house. I have been having a lot of doctor's appointments this week. I try to kind of schedule them all together so I can kind of knock them out. Nothing, just maintenance, maintenance checkups and making sure everything is how it should be. It's a cool, crisp morning this morning. I'm going to light a candle. I always trim the wicks on my candles so that I don't have a bonfire going on. This is a vanilla cloud candle that I got from Dollar General. It smells good in the container. I hope it smells that good when it's burning. I watched a YouTuber saying that, fall to her is lighting a candle. And I got tickled. I thought if it's that simple, then that's amazing, isn't it? So we'll light our vanilla candle this morning. We're going to make our cup of tea. I haven't decided what kind of tea I'm going to have this morning, but I have decided what kind of teacup I'm going to use. It says one houseplant away from crazy. I got myself one of these and my daughter one. So I'm going to go ahead and drink out of this cup this morning. Of course, it's getting close to fall. It is chilly. It's a chilly morning when we woke up this morning, and it felt wonderful. I've enjoyed it all morning, and I've got things I've just got to get started. I feel, when you hadn't been at home for a few days because you've got other things you have to go take care of, I feel like I'm a little bit behind. But I'm going to catch up today and just get some things going. I'm going to put this butter in this container because I got a little granddaughter that wants butter on everything. I like to have the butter that's good and melted and ready to go. So we leave our butter out on the counter, but just as much as we can use in just a few days. So I always like to get the butter out of the refrigerator and soften it up for her so that when we make her waffles and all the things that she likes to eat, her butter will be ready. And then if I've got any kind of recipes that's going to take softened butter, I'll lay the butter out for that too. And while I'm up, I'll think about what to make for lunch and dinner tonight. I'll go ahead and make those plans. Our tea this morning is going to be, I was going to tell you where I got this coffee cup. The one house plant away from crazy. I bought this at Dollar General in Virginia, and it was on their clearance table. It was supposed to be buy one, get one free, but after I paid and got out in the car, I realized it was so crowded in there that day. We were visiting Mama, and we were running around, and I did not realize that he didn't take off the half price for any of the stuff that I bought that was on sale, but that's okay. I bought 2 of these, one for me and one for my daughter, and it was on their clearance, their summer clearance stuff. So that's where this tea cup came from. I'm going to see what's in here in this fruit herbal infusion selection right here. We'll see what kind of tea's in here. We got lemon and ginger, chamomile, peppermint. They're all in their own little individual packs. And rose hip and hibiscus. I think this morning I'm just going to have lemon and ginger. And that's neat. I like that these are in little Mylar bags and they're all sealed up, and you know, you're not letting the air get to them until you're ready to use them. I'm going to have the lemon and ginger this morning. I love ginger, and of course you can't go wrong with lemon. Trying to decide if I want 1 bag or 2. I think I'll just take 1 bag this morning. Sometimes in the morning I'll have an extra strong cup of tea. Not just in the morning, but anytime. I might make the tea a little bit stronger. Our teapot's ready. It'll get up probably to about 80 or 90 degrees today, which is, you know, pretty warm. We are on our 2nd week in September, so I'm telling you, time is just moving right along. I'm not going to have any sweetener in my tea. I'm trying to cut back on sugar because that's not something that I need with my checkup. Sugar is not something I want to be having a lot of. Oh, I was going to share with y'all this little tidbit, you know, the piddly things that I do. But like the butter container, this butter container right here. I'm just going to open it up. I love paper. Look at this beautiful amount of paper that's in here. I cannot stand to waste it. So I'm just going to cut off these little tabs. Because I really won't use those for anything. And then I'm just going to go right along the folds where the butter container made, you know, where it made the box. And I'm just going to trim these up. And I'll use these to make my grocery list. I don't use my phone to make my grocery list because it just seems like it's hard to push a cart and get my phone out and try to keep up with it. So I don't do that. I just go ahead and make some paper like this, and I go ahead and write my list. Now these I'll just throw away. But these little papers right here make perfect grocery list. Free. You gave a second life to a one-time use item. Now I'll add whatever that we might need here. And then I'll put it here on the refrigerator amongst my beautiful grandchildren's artwork. And I'll keep up with it this way. Like right here is a spot. And then as I find things that I need, I'll just add to my grocery list. And then when it's time to go, it's right here. I can just grab it and take it to the store with me. And I'm out no money, right? I want to go ahead and put these in my drawer so I'll have them when I need them. I am doing my best this morning to enjoy the calm before the storm. When all my little grandbabies get here, we'll be doing other things. If they all come. They may not all come today. They're getting at a stage in their life where they have other commitments and responsibilities. They have dance and other things that they go and do. So they may or may not all come today. But I'm going to love on and enjoy the ones that come and pray and love on the ones that are not here. And we're just going to enjoy today. It's starting off really quiet and peaceful. I like this time in the morning when I get my first cup of tea. I already got my husband off to work. He's already going to work. That's still really hot, so I'm going to give it a minute. Let it cool down a little bit before I burn my lips off. But when the house is quiet and it's like this is when I kind of make my list of what I'm going to do for the day. Yesterday we ran to doctor's appointments for me, just for checkups, and then Donald had some things that he had to do, and so we ran and got a lot done yesterday. So today is a day to come in and get some things done that I need to get done here. I have not got decorated completely for fall. I'll share with you the few things that I've done. Of course, you know I brought out my pumpkin pie plate from years. I've had this thing for years. They still sell them. I love them. And then I brought these orange plates out because, you know, they'll be good for fall. I did get the leaves put on the little fence rack that we use here for coats and book bags, the kids' coats and book bags. We put it right here. Donald put this thing up. It's good and sturdy, and it'll hold the book bags and things. And I went ahead and got the leaves put up. I've got this sign that I really like. It's leaves are falling, autumn is calling. Now I know they sell this at Hobby Lobby, or they did, and I actually got this at the thrift store for like $5, which I thought it was really cute. I'm thinking about maybe putting it right here across the top of this, and all I would have to do is just put a few little nails on these little pickets that makes up this coat rack. I have a screw here, and I put little signs and things here all the time to decorate this area, you know, and it doesn't interfere with the hooks where all the book bags and the stuff go. But I am thinking about maybe putting that right there. I did get the little thankful sign up. I love to put that thankful sign up every year. Of course, I got that at Hobby Lobby several years ago, and I just use it over and over. And I'm thinking about maybe painting it. It's still white this year, but maybe I'll paint it a different color, maybe a dark brown. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Thankful if it was painted in a dark brown or a dark burgundy, you know, some kind of Thanksgiving color. I did put these little, you know, that little pumpkin that I made and this little thing right here on the desk just to kind of, you know, brighten it up. But of course it doesn't have to stay there. But I haven't got the rest of my decorations up. They are still sitting right here in the box, and I've used some of them, but I have not used them all. I've got to get this out. Of course, this goes on the porch. I did have a request to decorate my little front porch, and so I've got this stuff that's still here. These little things, which I stick down in the plants. They're just metal pumpkins with a crackle finish. I thought those were really cute. They've got little spikes on them that go into a flower pot, but I thought if I didn't use these as picks out in plants or out in the yard or on the porch, that maybe I could take those things right here, these little things that that's go in the ground to hold it. I could get my husband to clip those off, and then maybe put a hanger on the back somewhere right here, and maybe use those inside and hang them up somewhere. I just thought they were really pretty. I really liked the look of these. And here's one that is orange. It's a cream colored with an orange paint over it that crackles, And this one here is an orange pumpkin with cream paint over it that crackles. I just thought they were adorable. I thought they would look good together. I'm not sure what I want to do with those yet, but I'm telling you, fall is upon us. It's really here. And if I don't get with it, fall's going to be here, and I'll still be thinking, what am I going to do to decorate it? Because, you know, I've had a lot of other things going on. I got this when I went to the store with Mama, and it's normally $19.99. I think this was from Hobby Lobby. Somebody got it maybe as a gift or bought it and didn't use it. And you know I love these pine cones, cinnamon sticks, brown leaves. You know, you can go out in a yard. This was $4.99, but it was brand new, and I thought it was really pretty. You know, interesting. I love to decorate with stuff from nature like this. I've shared with you before, here are my findings from last year that I picked up. I've got some brown leaves, some pine cones. This is bark off the crepe myrtle tree when it peels, and there's a mushroom in here. So I love to decorate with this type stuff. This is a little thing that's found outside, and these are the ones that I collect. And here's, you know, here's this kind of thing that you can buy. But I've got to figure out what to do with these. I do have glass jars, and you know, I have one over here beside the couch that I like to change out and decorate. Now this potpourri, or these dried flowers that I have in here, it's dusty over here. I've got to get in here and dust. But I use this potpourri, and you can see it's got the spring flowers and stuff in it. And I want to change that out and put the fall things in. So that's what I do with that kind of thing. I enjoy seeing them. And when I take these out, I'll just put them in a bag. I'll show you what I do with that. I pulled it out over here. It smells really good. You can see this is all the spring stuff, some of the dried flowers from the garden. This summer, the spring and summer, I dried these flowers out really good. And what I usually do with these is just take these that are in here and out now. These are actually clematis seeds. I love the little fuzzy look of them, so I've included them in here. But you could actually go clip out some of these out of the garden and put them in with this too. In fact, why don't I do that? I'm just going to slip on my gardening shoes. We'll go outside and see what we can find to go in our potpourri bowl. That represents fall. We'll just go out here and get some things. These are so interesting looking. They're so attractive. These little fuzzy clematis seed pods. We'll clip some. They're like little pinwheels. The shapes of them are so interesting. They're so beautiful. Now out here at the clematis, I've got some wonderful mint. I'm just going to cut off a few sprigs of this just to smell it and maybe add to tea this morning. It's a stimulating herb. Wonderful, wonderful to have in a garden and be able to just snip and use a few pieces as you need it. And mint is prolific. It will take over. So it's right here under these roses. Under this clematis, which is beside of a rose, under the rose. We got a morning glory blooming back there. You know, Donald and I are in the process of cleaning up for fall. He has gone around and snipped quite a bit of everything that's right here. Up against this, you know, all this was overgrown. So he got out here and weeded it along there and has got some stuff cleaned up. That was a huge mound of stuff to go in the compost bin, and he's did the same thing here. I did get in this garden and cut back quite a bit of passion flowers, so we got a lot of that cleaned out, and it's right here. And here is the rosemary blooming. I have shared with you before how I absolutely love rosemary flowers. They are delicious. They're a delicacy, and I really love them. I harvest them when I can. There's quite a bit of them out this morning. They smell so good. Just harvesting these little flowers smell good. Now, I'm not going to put these in my potpourri or my little garden, my fall garden dish in here. I'm not going to do that with my rosemary flowers. I'm going to eat them. I love them. Whenever they bloom, I try to get out here and get as many as I can, and I snack on them. Those flowers are just delicious to me. I don't see much out here that would be good in our little fall potpourri dish that we're making. Maybe some of these coneflower seeds. I think the birds have got the most of them, so I might just pick a few of these and throw them in our container. Those echinacea are prickly. Such a peaceful morning. Such beautiful things out here in the little gardening area. Some things I didn't get to this year. I didn't get planted the way I had planned, but I'm enjoying the beauty of them nonetheless. Now, out here in this little corner garden where Donald has removed this stump, or he's trying to remove it, he gets out here and chops it with an axe. You can see the axe marks, and he's helping it to decay. Grows some mushrooms. We'll have mushrooms growing out here off of this stump. This used to be an ash tree, but you know, it's just the stump. It got way too big, and a storm came and took this tree down, and Donald had to end up taking it down. And it was a family tree. The kids used to climb up in it, my children when they waited on the bus, and the neighbor's children. But our neighbor that remembered this tree, I think I have pictures of the kids in this tree in my photos, but he made coasters. The neighbor that remembered climbing up this tree, waiting for the bus when they were young, he made the family coasters out of. He made everybody, all of the kids, me and Donald and his family and himself, some coasters from this tree that he used to climb when he was a young man, a youngster. So that tree stump is now giving these beautiful mushrooms. They're not turkey tails. They may be false turkey tails. Donald did get out here and clean all of this up. It looks so much better. And this is how the fall cleanup looks. If you remember when I showed you the garden earlier, it was, all of this was overgrown and you could barely see the stones. And now you can see the stones. He's cleared it all away. And then as the season progresses on in the fall, we'll be clearing away all of the things that are going to be cut down and put to rest for the fall season. But here are some of the mushrooms that have dried in the past. I had them up here on the porch, and you can see how they dry. I think they're lovely. Now, here are the things that we have collected for our fall display jars with the fall things in it. And here are some things that I had already collected over the past year here. And then here's some beautiful fall potpourri that I purchased. Now, depending on where you live, you might have some beautiful fall decorations out in your yard and not even realize it. It's a way to get a really quality, beautiful, organic decorations without having to spend a lot of money. You can express yourself and have freedom. Now, this is a container that I've got. I'm going to wipe this out. This is an animal cracker container. And I saved it, you know, because it's a good, sturdy, recyclable container. And what I'm going to do is probably just take this, even though it's not a lot. This is a big container, and this glass thing that I have is not a lot. These are roses I saved from my garden, and I also saved roses and things from my bouquets that my family have given me for different reasons over the years. But I'm going to go ahead and put this. This smells so good. This is the spring and summer potpourri. There's a feather in here. It'll take me just a minute to kind of get this in. I'm kind of being gentle with it because I don't want to pulverize these. These are fragile. They're dried. I kind of want them to hold some shape. That's why I'm not just shoving them down in here. Kind of being gentle with them and getting them. Look, this is a daffodil. A dried daffodil. Isn't that pretty? From spring. Here's new pine cones before they formed that had fallen off of the pine tree. There's some old man's beard or usnea. And then just different flowers. Look at this little bird. This was in an arrangement. And I just saved it. Isn't that pretty in that potpourri? These are just things, these common, inexpensive things. And you may even have more beautiful things in your yard. You may have a tree that has nuts or beautiful flowers. You may have even more beautiful things in your yard or garden that you can save and make some beautiful potpourri out of. Mainly flower petals and different things. Here's a little piece of loofah. That's just a filler. I'm going to put all of this in here and I'm going to store it. Oh, here's a butterfly. Isn't that pretty? Of course, that's not a real butterfly. That's a fake that we just stuck down in there. But it's almost like a science class with what you can find. And then when you go back and look at it, be amazed at what was in your yard or maybe in a friend's yard or a relative's yard that you can harvest and make a little, there's my mint, that you can make a potpourri mix out of. There's a little cardinal's feather in here, a tiny little feather. Just different things that you might find out in your yard. Now, you know I've shared with you before how I dry, you know, the flowers that my kids give me out of the bouquets I'll save. So I'm just going to add them into this container. This is a tea berry that came off of my tea tree this year out there. These are dried sunflowers. I'm going to add them to this potpourri, this summer mix, because these are all summer flowers. Here's some eucalyptus. That can really go either or. And these are all things, you know, that I dried. Look how pretty that turned out. I could use some of these burgundy mums in this fall potpourri. So I'm going to take out some of those and just put them in the fall potpourri. Any of the fall looking colors. Maybe even some of the dark, moody looking yellows. I just enjoy doing this. I think I like to you know, handle these flowers and things, and I just enjoy doing this for decorating for the seasons. Now we've got this whole container of summer potpourri that I can just put up, and I'll be using this next year for the spring and for the summer. But right now we'll just get back to mixing our fall potpourri. Now I've just cleared out this jar. I'm going to clean this jar up really good. Get all the dust and fingerprints. Now I take just regular old white household vinegar. This is a good secret tip that you might want to remember if you use a lot of glass. I love glass. Glass can make a lot of things look expensive. I've got just vinegar in here in the spray bottle, and I keep it on hand. And I spray it. My containers, anything glass that I've washed, crystal, works great on any glass. I just spray that vinegar on it and just rinse. Now we've got to make sure this glass container gets dried really well. I usually just try to take a lint-free cloth and wipe them down. The containers that I plan to use that need to be dry. We're putting dry potpourri in here, so we want this to be as dry as it can possibly be. You can see how pretty that is, how pretty and shiny. Now I'm going to take this big stainless steel bowl that I have. I'm going to open up this potpourri that I got from the thrift store for $4.99, and I'm going to put it in here and kind of see what I have. I'm going to go ahead and put these flowers that I picked out of my dried arrangement that I saved. I'm going to go ahead and put those in there. I'm going to open up this bag. It looks like there's a lot of pine cones. Some of these kind of wood filler pieces right here. Now see that come out of this bag, this pine cone. And you know, that's nothing special. That's not any kind of fancy pine cone. That's just a regular pine cone out of the yard. And I'm sure that anybody can go out there that's got pine trees and find some that's very similar for a decoration. Now here's the stuff that I picked out from the yard. My crepe myrtle bark that was peeling. Here's a pine cone from my pine trees. Some leaves that I picked up. Here are the leaves that were in the bag. And here are the leaves that I picked up out of the yard. I mean, just as beautiful, right? Here is a mushroom, dried hard mushroom. And some little this and that, you know, that's out of the yard. So I picked those up and I have those. And here's what me and you harvested together this morning. We've got these dried mushrooms that look very fall. That's the fresh one, but it'll dry hard just like it is. And we'll add these right into our potpourri. And there we go. Now, if you like it a little bit brighter, if you want it to look less natural and just a little bit more brighter, you can take a stem of fake flowers that you can buy really anywhere right now, fake leaves. And you can just clip off a few of the leaves and add them right in there with it. You can put this in a wooden bowl. You can put it in this stainless steel bowl. I mean, look how pretty it looks when you've added all of this. So whatever you have, ceramic, wood, pottery that you want to see in your house, you can definitely use what you have and make something very beautiful out of it. So that's this bowl that we've got of our own potpourri that we mixed this morning from a bag that I bought from the thrift store, which was originally from Hobby Lobby. I know that because of the tag. Right there it says distributed by Hobby Lobby stores. Now how old this is, I don't know. The name of this was Purely Pumpkin. Purely Pumpkin Potpourri. And here it is, a really pretty potpourri. I'm going to put it right over here. I've got this glass container that I had the spring potpourri in that I washed. It's now dry. We can put potpourri in that. I also have the container here that I bought at the thrift store. You know, the thing about glass is it makes anything look expensive. It just really does. It's got this really pretty lid. I'm going to have to take it in here and wash it. And I think it was some kind of maybe a punch bowl, because it has this place right here that maybe a ladle would have went. That won't bother a bit for what we're going to use it for. That's a beautiful container, and it'll be perfect for what we're going to use it for today. We'll find the price. Let's see what the price is. The price was $5. It says $5.09, so $5. We got this beautiful glass container with the lid. I'm going to take it in here and wash it up. Cookie's helping me this morning. It's a cookie moment. He wants to look at the tea. Let's taste our tea and see if it's cool enough to drink. Yes, it is. It's delicious, and it's getting there. Well, I'm going to take this vessel in here and wash it real quick so that we can put our potpourri in it. Now, here we go. I've washed this up. We'll take a length-free cloth. This is just the cloths that I use to wash my windows with. And we'll just go right ahead and get this thing dried so that we can use it for our display. This is a $5 container from Goodwill, from a thrift store. Here's the lid for that. Go ahead and dry that with a length-free cloth. Get this good and dry. And once it's good and dry, we can go from there and just go right on ahead and start filling up this pretty container that we've got and cleaned up. Over here I've got some candles. These candles, we can incorporate them. Right here's our mix we made with the stuff we picked up out of the yard and with the little bag that we had from Hobby Lobby. I've got the jar that I took from over there on my corner table, and I've got a wooden bowl here. And we're just going to take and fix up a few things and see what we can do to make some beautiful fall out of some things that we already have. Now, I don't want to put that right in here because it'll be covered up. I'm going to go ahead and get this container right here and just start putting things in there from here. I can go ahead and put some of the mushroom down in the bottom and it'll kind of be a filler. And I'm going to go ahead and just add some of these pine cones and some of these little pinwheels off of the clematis. I'm going to put one of these beautiful yellow leaves right here on the outside so it'll show from the outside of the bowl. Put some of the bark in. Make it smaller so it'll fit. And just go ahead and start putting some of the potpourri into this container. So here's all of our mix. Just go ahead and mix and put whatever you like, whatever you want to see in your bowl. That's really pretty. I'm liking the way that looks. It looks like fall, doesn't it? It's off of a poplar tree from my backyard. It's actually the neighbor's poplar tree that hangs over our yard and drops those things into our yard. So I'm just going to go ahead and put these in. I'm liking the way that looks. And it will have the lid on it, you know. But that's a beautiful potpourri arrangement. Just basically using things that I already have. I did pick up that bag of potpourri from the thrift store for $5. And this jar for $5. And now here it is. Isn't that pretty? That's a beautiful fall decoration to go in your house. And it's from using things that we already had. And here, this, of course, I had the spring mix in it. So I can go ahead and put things in here. You know, I'm not carefully arranging any of this stuff. I'm just throwing in here what I have. And if you like something that's a little more electric, right here's a little set of lights. I've had these for quite a while, not even sure where these came from. But these little lights are battery operated. We can tuck these down right down in here. We'll cover up that little battery thing, battery case with our potpourri, our pine cones and such. And we'll just put our little leaves out. Look how pretty that looks. It's battery operated. It'll be hidden down in here. We can put a few things right over it. And it'll just be really pretty. It'll be lit up. It'll give a little bit of light. And that's a pretty fall decoration. I'm going to use this wooden bowl. I'm just going to put this big candle down in it like this. And I'm going to take some of the things that I have left and just lay it around. Just going to lay it around this candle. And of course you would want to make sure this candle was always attended if you burned it. But you could use a fake candle. I'll just lay some of the potpourri around that. And that'll make 3 beautiful options. And these, I think these could really stand on their own. But you can also just put these in right along near the candle. And see how pretty that looks. I've got two. You could just put these on a shelf, and they kind of say fall in themselves, don't they? Now I've got scented oil. I've got it in this little thing. I ordered this for a while. These are some that I've had on hand. We've got apple pie here. That would be great. Cafe mocha. That's tobacco oil. We could scent this potpourri with our oils. That's leather. Hot chocolate. These are making me thirsty. Coffee cake and hungry. But I just have these little oils. This one's brown sugar. I think the one that would most simulate our fall would be apple pie. So you could take a little bit of this oil right here and scent your potpourri. Drop a few drops. And especially if you lit a candle, this would warm up a little bit and it would smell delicious. You can put it right inside of your beautiful jar. I love apple pie. You could find pumpkin spice and put pumpkin spice or any kind of oil. I'm using what I have on hand, but you know, you can use whatever you have on hand or whatever you purchase to make your potpourri smell really good. And there we go. We've got our beautiful fall decor that we can put out on our table and around our house and decorate for fall. I'm going to tuck this one right back in here. Now I could easily exchange jars, take this ginger jar down, put it down here and put this one up here. It would be more visible. I'm going to go ahead and get my infuser going. You know, you can put a good cinnamon oil or a good citrus oil mixed with cinnamon. Smells really like fall. You can look up some oil blends, get those going in your house, and it'll smell like fall. Get my picture of my grandma back up here. It's already starting to feel like fall here. I appreciate you joining me and let me share with you some little fall decorating ideas that I'm going to do around here, around the house today. Thank you for having a cup of tea with me and just spending the time. You know, I'm always grateful that you're here, and like always, until next time.